fire alarm got pulled, and so our procedures are to go make sure all of our students are, you know, safe and out of the building. After I came out of like, oh my God, what is that? You know, it echoes through the building pretty loud. So then I realized what was happening. Then definitely my mind immediately went into, okay, I've got to get the police, because we had police on campus, and I knew where they were, and then get the kids to safety, which was additionally, you know, scary, because I knew the fire alarm had been pulled, and I was afraid for that. So it became a very focused effort right after that. I don't know that I had a lot of time to think through it until later.
What have been the most difficult days?
First few days of school were rough. Then we got into our routines and started realizing that we can make it through. First fire drill, obviously, that would have been a tough day. That was a tough day. Some of the activities that maybe some of the kids were in, for instance, we had a football player, so first football game, things like that would come up all through the year. And then now, that 1 year marker date is coming up, and so.
Have you had those days where you didn't want to show up?
I think I'm human just like everyone else, and going through something like this is difficult, and watching the kids that you've loved. I mean, I've worked in this district for a long time, and so I've watched these kids. In fact, the graduating seniors last year, I had since they were in 6th grade, because I was their junior high principal, and then came to the high school. So I know them very well, and so to watch them, there's days where, wow, this is really difficult, and wouldn't it be easier not to? But for the same reason, I have to. I would never have thought to leave. I would never have thought to not be here this year and next year and the year after to help them get through this, because I know what they're going through, and so I would never have not shown up.
To a certain extent, had you, people would have understood, but that was never an option for you.
No.
You never thought, I can no longer do this.
And the funny thing is, the people who know me, my family, my friends, they didn't even ask. They didn't even ask, are you going to stay? That wasn't just me who felt that way. A lot of our staff members would never have thought to leave, because they would have been here for the kids.
Who has been your support system outside of the school and your immediate peers?
I have a great family. I have a wonderful husband. I have even my children. My daughter was here that day. She's in college now, so yes, I'm that old.
And how is she doing?
She's doing fine. She's doing fine. She also sought help, and so but my youngest daughter now goes here. So we all pull together.
What have those best days been?
Well, and some of those worst days were still the best. So like our first football game was one of the hardest days. But then when those guys stepped out on the football field, missing 2 of their members, it was still one of the best days. Another great day was prom. We had more students attend prom this year than we ever have. Sometimes after a tragedy, it's hard for people to feel okay to celebrate. And so some of those things, students, that at first they were like, is it okay? Is it okay for us to and it is okay, and they did that. And so to enjoy being a student and enjoy the things that make high school fun and memorable, and they're persevering and doing just that. I can't get over how strong our kids are. It's one thing for an adult to come back into this school to resume something after something like that, after what we lived through, but the kids and kids that were high impact in the art room, but each one of them that have lived through way more than I ever lived through that day. My story is very small compared to theirs, and they're absolutely amazing. And for some, just walking into this building, being triggered on a daily basis for something that was as traumatizing as it is, and then to sit down in a classroom and learn, that's amazing, and that should be commended. That is commendable and honorable that they could do that.
It is hard to process what the people in Santa Fe have been through this past year. But unfortunately, there are people who understand, people who survive school shootings and turn their loss and pain into advocacy and helping others.
Chris White spoke to some of these people, including the former principal of Columbine High School.
How's it going? I'm Grace. So nice to meet you. This is Kyle, my photographer. Thanks for taking some time for us.
It's been